What's happening, YouTubes? Vector here, back again. Thursday night, you know what that means, bike night. And we're ticking another one off the list. Yeah, just when you thought he's done them all, there's one more. There's actually several more, but one more. So today we're going over to Plymouth, actually my home city. If you've been watching the channel for a while, my original home city. I think it's the Plymouth Motorcycle Club is what they call themselves. They host it throughout the summer. There was a big gap for about a month or two, just where the venue, which is the Plymouth Hoe up on the over the waterfront, that was in use for other stuff, so it paused for a little while. This is it's a nice Safari 911, very nice. Yeah, it's back today. It's the first one back, and then there's 4 more for the rest of the season, including today. But I think this will probably be my last bike night of the season, I think, or at least my last after work bike night. I'll probably always do Hilltop still, Hilltop Farm. They have actually just moved their bike night from Thursday evening to Saturday afternoon because of the dwindling light and worsening weather and so on. And yeah, that's the reason this is the last one for me, I think, because I'm going to get there for 6, something like that. Sunset is 6:45 at this point, so it's yeah, it's a little bit of a pointless endeavour, and you are guaranteed to be riding home in the dark and the cold, which is a little bit crappy, but it's not too bad. Plymouth's it's weirdly close enough, particularly coming back. The journey there takes best part of 50 minutes, 45-50 minutes, but the journey back I can get done in about 30 minutes if I have a bit of a heavy wrist. And that's not even dual carriageway as well. There's only a little bit of dual carriageway. You're going to get past sort of Plymouth back to the Tamar Bridge. From there on it's just you know, ordinary roads. Not interesting roads, I will stress, but at the very least ordinary roads. Right, over, the boys are not joining me today. They're off to Damarel's bike night today, chapter 1, which they didn't invite me to. I was tempted, but plus I wanted to tick Plymouth off the list. I had another video for the channel first of all, but another one that I've actually not attended. Even when I lived in Plymouth, I never really did the bike nights. I never did the mega ride or anything like that either. So I thought I'd make the most of it kind of today. And you know, for me to get back from Damarel's is sort of like an hour 20, hour 30, depending on how wiggly of a route I take. And for me to get back from this bike night is, like I say, 35 minutes maybe. So it makes a big difference, like particularly when it's after dark, it's cold, you kind of just want to get home at that point. It's also the roads back from Plymouth back out towards where I am. Most of them, apart from the end bit, most of them are like full 2-lane, like, you know, proper roads. So they're a little bit, you can get a better pace on in the dark because you've still got like proper road markings to follow and even street lights for some of it. It should be good. I've no idea what the catering situation is, so I guess we'll find out when I get there. Hopefully there'll be some form of burger van or something. Not the end of the world if there isn't, but you know, it's easier getting something there than waiting to get home and trying to sort them in then, isn't it? So pick up something, have a little look around. It's down, like I say, on the Plymouth Hoe, on the waterfront, down by sort of the promenade. So it's a nice area, nice views over the sea. Should be a nice sunset. There's generally quite a nice sunset over the water actually from Plymouth Hoe, like right over Plymouth Sign, because it sets obviously in the west towards Cornwall, but it's far enough forward that you can kind of, it's just over the headland, like over my Edgecombe. So it makes for quite a nice ambience, providing this cloud isn't too bad for there. Its forecast is sort of sun for both here and Plymouth, but patchy sun I think it was, so we'll see how that works out. It's a little bit bleak this way. Beyond that, well, autumn is setting in. It is October now, which is depressing. Still hoping for, you know, some nice dry days. Not quite ending the riding season yet, but oh, it is threatening, isn't it? We had a lot of rain recently. And it's an interesting one because I'm still looking at bikes, as I keep mentioning basically every video. I'm looking at bikes, looking at all these. There's still various bikes I have, you know, on my short list or whatever. It's one of those where I'm like, in theory, I love that Miata, that's nice. That's the next slide. Pop up, smart one, very nice. Yeah, in theory, I'm actively looking right now, and like, you know, preparing to buy a bike, and get my third bike that I've been wanting. But then in reality, every time I like one pops up that could work out, and then I just get cold feet. And oh, that's speaking of cold feet, someone's lost their shoe. Lovely. Yeah, I get like I don't know. I don't message the guy. I don't like go and look at it. I almost looked at that Trans Up a few weeks ago. I may still go back to that because he hasn't sold it yet, which says a lot about how much he's asking for it. But I don't know. Like I'm generally quite averse to spending money anyway. So sort of buying anything's a bit of a struggle sometimes. But I think part of me is like, do I buy the bike now, but then know that it's probably going to sit in my carport and not get ridden much for the next like 6 months? Or do I wait until spring, but then the prices will be higher because everyone will be trying to, you know, boost them ahead of the sort of season picking up again? I think if the right bike pops up, I think I could still go for it. I was looking at, there's a CB250 Honda, not the nice one, I will say, this is the Nighthawk, which I've never really liked as much. It's a bit of an ugly duckling. It's a 92, but it's down in Truro. It's a proper shed. Like, the thing looks just awful. But it's like 500 quid. Like it was 600 quid, he's dropped it already to 495. I'm like, bro, like, nowadays, when do you ever see a bike for 500 quid that isn't completely like fallen apart? Admittedly, it needs he snapped the bolts off in the sprocket, he said in the descriptor, which is worrying. So he says he's ordered new bolts, but that's kind of not the issue. The issue is if you snap the bolts off, you have to try and like drill the old ones out of the carrier, I guess. Like, I don't know where he would have snapped it off it. I don't know how he would have snapped it off either, because they're not exactly torqued those sprocket bolts. But I'm like, yeah, and it looks awful. Like the bike's been sprayed black as they always have. The background of the photos is just like shit all over the floor, like just trash, and it looks like a proper like grotty little estate. But it's fucking 500 quid, man, and I'm like, that could make quite a nice scrambler if I cleaned it up a bit. And I could probably fit it in the back of the Kangoo to save on delivery costs. So, I don't know, that one's up there on the list. There are always potentials. But yeah, then part of me is like, do I just wait? Do I just like chill out a bit and have the two bikes I have? See where I am in the spring, sort of thing. Which is absolutely the sensible thing, the financially sensible thing. But I am both financially averse, but also a little bit of a splurger sometimes. So I'll see how that works out, really. But yeah, we're almost leaving Cornwall now. We're about to enter this ridiculous 50 zone, which was a 70 zone, and is now a 50 zone for no purpose other than fucking with people. Followed by the 30 zone, which is average speed cameras, but we'll gloss over all of that, shall we? Let's have a bit of this, shall we? Fellas, God, it looks a bit fucking miserable this way, doesn't it? Look at these clouds. It's not forecast to rain. It shouldn't rain, not until like Saturday. And the weekends a bit rubbish. I don't know. It's if it's all dark and rubbish, it'll be really cold and like, you know, it'll go dark prematurely, which is basically when I'm going to be arriving. Yeah, we're here now, so it's sort of wing it and see this. Is this van in front I can smell? This van looks like it's just been pulled out of the sea. It is so rusty. You won't be able to see that on camera, but it's so rusty. It smells like diesel. But I don't know, like, when you see a van that bad, and particularly when it's a trendy van, like this is a transporter of some kind, you kind of think it's intentional. Like, you think it's one of those where they've left the rat look, but they've done the mechanics. But this one kind of smells like they've just just left the rat look, and just it's a ratty inside as well. He's only got one brake light as well, which isn't ideal. You'll note this clusterfuck because they won't see the overhead sign until they get right there, and then they both have to merge into each other. I had a full like stationary like fight here a while back with some other car. This dumb idiot came up in the wrong lane, and then like they just wouldn't, like they were trying to get me to go, I was trying to get them to go. It's just a clusterfuck of nonsense. They are redesigning this. Apparently they're going to be shut in this tunnel for like months on end trying to do something to it, but somehow I think there'll be less of like actually solving the issues and making like these signs, these like lights in the middle, they don't work properly, they never have. The overhead signs are really inconsistent. Like you'll see as you go along the bridge quite a lot of the time, some of them will say the lane's active, some of them won't. I think they're going to be more concerned with speed cameras and monitoring than they will with actually making it function, unfortunately. But anyway, you guys don't need to see the next like 10 minutes of stop-start traffic across the bridge, so I will catch up here on the other side at the old toll booth drag strip. I think the rat van's opening his door because his window doesn't work. That's quite funny. And we're away. Normally it is quicker to come off early, but I think I'm going to go the slightly longer way. Let's stay on here a little bit more, go down by Marsh Mills and then down the estuary, because it should avoid more of the inner city traffic. And hopefully we'll finally get there. Like I say, it's getting a bit dark. I do still have my tinted inner visor down, just in stubbornness more than anything. Yeah, the old autumn bike meets are not as not as great, are they? Oh, we're going to have a nice backlighting on this cloud. That's going to be about all we can see, I think. Not really much of a sunset tonight, but sadly. We are in Plymouth now though, technically. So we're coming down the estuary. Here's the embankment, as it's known. I do hope there's actually bikes there. It's going to be very awkward if we get there's no one there. So I say it is the first one restarting after the, you know, the hiatus. So there is potential for them to have like not realised it's back on. But I guess backup plan, if they are, if there's no one there, we'll just head to Count Jasper's, get one of their ridiculous burgers. It is just down the road, so it's not the end of the world. I don't come to Plymouth much these days. I sort of should make the effort because it'd be nice to do some shopping and stuff. And there's no shops closer to me than this, like no proper shops. It'd be nice to go out and do some like clothes shopping or whatever. I'll probably come down at Christmas and do some like Christmas shopping, not to drop the C-bomb this late in the video. And I never come in the car, which would make the journey easier and the shopping easier, because you're not having to like lug around, you know, bike helmet and kit the whole time, and you can carry more stuff, but then you gotta pay for parking. And I'm like fully adverse to paying for parking because I'm a biker, so I'm not used to it. Yeah, girl. Boyfriend's arm around her, she's eyeing the bike. I'd love to say I'm sorry, but I'm not. You'll be amazed to know that I'm extremely single right now. Oh yeah. I have my indicator on for the photo, how lame. Alright, we've got a handful of bikes up here. Let's have a look around. Thank you. Cheers. That's us, Plymouth Bike Night. Turn me choke off. Yeah, I was only there briefly. I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes, maybe something like that. So I say it's an autumn evening now. It closes in quick. We're at about quarter to 7 now. So sun is technically setting at this point. You can see we've actually got quite a nice sunset there. Facing the wrong way, it's not that way, but quite a nice sunset. I thought I'd head off before it's fully dark. But no, it's nice, you know. It's actually quite a good turn out there in the end. I was slightly concerned because I arrived and then it immediately started raining. So I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. But actually, no, it was alright in the end. There was only spat for a minute or two, then it was over. Nice meet. Obviously, you know, I'm here by myself, so it's just me sort of walking around by myself, chatting to people where I can. Chatted to a nice guy in a Lex Moto Assault, I think it was. One of their nakeds. Bizarrely, from factory, it's got a like a proper chunky knobbly dirt tyre on the front and then just a street tyre on the back. It's bizarre. I don't know what they were thinking with that. So I initially chatted to him because I saw his front tyre. I was like, oh, that's cool, you know, put a knobbly tyre on to do, like, you know, green A. He's like, no, that's just how it comes from the factory. He was a nice lad though. It was nice that he was like, he very clearly cared about his bike a lot as well. Like it was even though Lex Moto obviously is a cheap bike, and he's been through a series of cheap bikes and 125s and L plates and stuff and signs to it, but he's like, yeah, you know, it's crash damaged, I bought it crash damaged, I repaired it all. He's got like some brand new, like new old stock side panels to go on it to like really put it back to factory. So it's cool, it's nice to see. Yeah, there's a good range of bikes. A few bike clubs rolled in at the end, so we had the usual like Harley groups turned up, and there's a bizarre little like Beetle derived buggy thing which I thought was very cool. I'll chuck a picture of that on screen. That's the sort of thing where I've considered just saying fuck it and buying something like that to daily instead of my car, because I'm like, I don't do a lot of miles now, you know, like working from home. I could theoretically get away with having a silly car. So the thought has occurred more than once. Well, I'll leave things there. So thank you very much for watching. That's another bike meet ticked off. I'm glad I came. Like I say, I've spent longer coming and going than I did at the actual meet, but that's not the end of the world. Shout out to this bus lane, by the way. Bypasses a lot of the faff coming out of this way. And I could also, there's a little bit further on where all the cars have to turn off, go through Gidney away. I can go straight on because it's a bus lane open to bikes, which is very nice. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Another bike night. It's probably going to be the last bike night of the year, I would assume, apart from maybe those daytime Hilltop Farm bike nights. So we'll probably do some other stuff until the season kicks off again, because it's just not worth the effort coming down after work when sunset's this short, you know. Yeah, that was a good one. Good turnout despite the weather, despite the darkness. People go, you know, getting the last few meets in. I recommend the night if you did want to come down. The food was alright, nothing special, but you know, it was alright. And the person was very friendly. And yeah, good turnout, good location, nice and scenic up there. Nice marshalling as well, that's quite nice. I'm not normally a sort of big marshalled, organised kind of meet kind of guy, but it was nice, you know, directing everyone around made it quite efficient getting in and out, which was handy. Have a good one everyone, ride safe, and I'll catch you in the next video.